week of this one at this range. Some of the upcoming guns that I'll definitely be adding, I know one of them will be an automatic shotgun that's a bit more noob friendly, because what I've noticed is a lot of new players jump on the game and they take the current shotgun and they're trying to use it well in like medium range, and it's complete and utter crap for them. So I'm gonna add a shotgun that's more noob friendly, and then the current shotgun will be considered. The current shotgun will be considered more of a pro weapon than a general use weapon. Let's re-enable the bots so we can see a little bit more of what. I mean, the bots suck. I'm not a big fan of how I did the bots. So trust me, guys. If you don't like the bots, I don't like them either. But it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, and they'll get better with time. But they are good to test a lot of stuff with, like stuff like this, for example, where I need to test the maps and whatever. Actually, I think we may have a bug here because I was working on something before I started this. So I don't think projectile weapons actually work. Yeah, it's broken. I can fix that quickly. Let's see. To bring up some code here. I'm not going to show you guys the behind the scenes of the code. I don't know. If not everything should be shared. So I do have to, yeah, because I'm rewriting how the rockets and that stuff work, because I noticed that we are seeing a bug where you're shooting stuff like the bow and it's stopping before the wall, or you're seeing explosions that are stopping before the wall. So I'm fixing stuff like that. So that's why the rockets are currently broken. I'll have to restart. Yeah, to restart this server and stuff to take effect. Anyway, this did not go as intended, but obviously we're gonna work on making sure the stream is a bit better next time. But for now, I can just show you guys some stuff. I'm gonna open up some behind the scenes stuff to show you guys more of what I've been working on. So if anybody was trying to see like what's being worked on, now is the time. Yeah, waiting on Unity. Oh, regarding Aman's comment about it feeling like a maze. Yeah, I'll work on that a bit. Usually most of the maps, what I try to do with Repuls is I try to use stuff like lighting and stuff to separate. For this map, I did try to mix it up a bit. So let's see if I can load up this map. It's called, hold on. Let's just go into the tool right here. Vortex. The name of this map. Let's switch to it. Boom. And let's go into, let's turn off some of these stuff. Yeah, so it does feel a little maze-like, I will agree. Because if you look at this side, it's not much different from, say, this side. I did use stuff like the lighting, but it's not enough. So most likely what I'll end up doing is I'll probably put some more lights around, but I'll find a way to mix it up a bit so that you can always know where you are. But yeah, I do agree with what you're saying, that it can seem a little bit maze-like, but I'll solve it. I'll figure it out. Trust me, it's not big. Don't let it trick you. Let's see if I can. Well, I'm waiting for it to reload, so I'm waiting on this ridiculous bar. But once I finish, I'll run around the map a bit so you'll see. Honestly, it doesn't. It will take you from here to the other side of the map. Might take you 15 seconds, 10 seconds. It's not very big. Trust me. Funnily enough, I'm glad you said that because I was actually thinking of scaling it up slightly. Yeah. Right. Let's see if I can start it back up. Oh, no, okay, fine. Fine, so I'm gonna start up a server again and I'll try to rejoin. But again, I do agree with you that it can sometimes be a little bit messy to figure out where you are, because this side does not look that much different from this side. It doesn't really play out that way once you get used to it, but it's not a good thing to start. So I will definitely be working on it. What I might do is change the lighting so that one side of the map might be dark while one side is light. So once you're on the dark side, you'll know where you are versus the light side. But again, I'll tweak it because again, you are right, and I do have the same concern. Um, Maybe make more lines on the wall colored. Maybe those stuff can help. But again, I said I'll see if I can find a solution for it. If let's see, what else is there? Oh, okay. Oh wait. All right. So I'm waiting on this to open. When this open, I'll be able to show you some more math that I've been working on. But I don't know. Unity can be a bit of a pain sometimes. All right. Fine. So server is up. Let's see if I can leave. Oh, one thing that might be quite cool to see is actually the skybox. I mean, you might think it's unnecessary to have a skybox like that. That's interesting, but in this view, you get to see the skybox. Kind of cool. Right. Anyways, switching back to gameplay view now. So let's see if I can go scenes, main menu, blah 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 blah. Don't save anything. Let's spray. Why is it blocking me? On projectile. So it's saying that there's an error in this thing. Let's reload. No idea why it's giving me that error. Things loading. Ridiculous. Disable that temporarily. This should work now. Well. Actually, we rate. We rate and appreciate all the work where you put in for the community. Yeah, it's proper. It's proper part or creole, whatever you want to call it. That would be how you say that. So no, it didn't come out messed up. I was actually thinking like for the campaign of this game. I know we're just a web game right now, but one of the plans I'm having is whenever I do like some story mode or story teasers, to have like a Jamaican character as part of the lore. Just because I don't think it would be awesome. Like some black dude and he's like wearing his armor and crap and he loves taking his helmet off or some crap and he's just I think it would be kind of cool. Let's see if I can jump in again so we can see. Because again, someone was saying that the map seems big, and I want to showcase that. Yeah, but again, I said everything's taking forever to load now. Maybe because I think I probably have too much stuff running. Wait. Doing again. Okay. Oh, so the audio doesn't correct until you open the menu. Okay, fine. So I found 2 bugs so far. So jump in. Oh, so you asked about the completion of the game. Last time I remember you said it was 40 to 50%. Honestly, I'm surprised I said it was that high because 1 sec. Let's disable this. It was that high. I don't think the bar has moved that much in terms of completion of the game. What you guys have to remember is that when I dreamed this game up, it was never really intended to be a web game. It was always supposed to be more of a PC game. However, naturally, because of no resources, I decided, you know what? Let's start it small and grow into what I would like the game to become. So, right. So let's spawn in now. Yeah. So again, I said the lighting. Maybe if I run this section with a bit more blue, maybe you'd immediately know where you are. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me now because I just spawned in and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm on the blue side. Let's see if I can probably get. Oh, did I fix the projectile? Jesus. 1 sec. Let's see what's going on here. I forgot that I touched this thing just before I did the stream, so it's a little bit annoying. Let's see. Can do store manage spawn projectile. Really kind of weird that it's not being destroyed because I did revert the code, so I'm not using the change code anymore. But that's game development for you. So let me remove the changes that I made. Remove changes. Yeah, not sure why it's not, but whatever. I don't need that to show you guys the map, so I'll fix that. Let's freeze the bots so they don't interfere. And let's do. So someone was saying that they think the map is a bit big. So let's see if we can showcase what I'm saying when I say it really isn't. See if I can. What's happening here, but you know. Okay. Wait. What? Freezing the bot should not stop me from killing them. So freeze bots. Let's freeze them again. Sticky mine is basically the mine with a little goes off when it means Right. Yeah. So okay, someone was saying that the map seems big. It really depends, because as you know how Repulse is, it really is a skill based thing. So if you're just gonna like walk and you say for example you spawn and you're gonna be like, okay, I need to walk to the other side, right? If this is all you're doing, however long this takes to get there, and it's really not that long. Oh, I think I also fixed the Grav Lift, so it should be a lot less janky. Now, obviously, it's not going to work because I'm trying to show it to you guys, and we all know how crap is. I guess I need to fix the detection, but as you notice that it wasn't janky, it wasn't doing that stuttering thing. Probably need to adjust the collision for it, but once you do get in, yeah, it's significantly smoother than it was before. Yeah, so Right. So it doesn't feel as janky anymore, and that's a huge deal. Oh, something I want to show you guys that might be interesting. So it's a bit of an Easter egg. I don't know if it's an Easter egg, but in this map, the vortex up here, so you can naturally move around the map, right? And you can impulse fine and no problem. So you can still traverse the map properly. But if you go out of your way, so wait, we have this vortex up here. Let's see. Let's just say you decide to go out of your way to. I was gonna leave this as an Easter egg, but I guess I can just show you guys. If you go out of your way to like jump out of the map, so for example, I'm not doing it. I didn't go high enough. I'll just say if I'm not able to pull it off, you guys will be in for something interesting whenever you try to jump towards the roof of this map. See if I can pull it. Nope, I didn't pull it off. But whatever. Again, I said there's something interesting there for anybody who can make it high enough. You'll see what happens. Right. So okay. So regarding the size of the map, obviously, if you're just gonna walk across the map, then fine. I guess you could consider it big. I don't think it is, because traversing it is quite simple. See, I'm already line of sight on blue bait, even though I just spawned. So, for example, if I was supposed to be on blue team, and let's see. Oh, regarding the ping, I actually found an issue regarding the ping. So yes, I found something that should significantly improve the latency of the game. It should drop it by as much as 50 ms. It should, because when I actually, it might be 50 to 100 ms lower is what it should be. I'm not sure because it will vary per person. But yes, I did find some optimizations. But again, I'll go through some of this stuff in one go, so that if anybody is, for example, maybe wanting to record all the changes, they don't have to watch through the whole thing to find out what I said. So I'll definitely, in the Q&A, when I get to Q&A, I'll do that in the next 15 minutes. I'll share more of just raw information on what has changed. So the net code has improved, and I'll get into that then. And then projectiles is the one thing. Let me just make a note of the thing that I should share with you guys. Mention the Grav Lift that were fixed. All right. Okay, so again, so say for example you spawn on blue, right? Immediately spawn on blue, you can see where red is due to the lighting. So that's what I was saying, that yeah, it could be a bit confusing at a glance, but it really doesn't play out that way once you were spawned in. Because once you're spawned in, if you spawn on blue, once you see red, you know where you are. And then the glass, that glass down there, is the same direction for both bases. So once you find the glass, you'll know immediately whether you're on the left side. So if I'm on blue and I see that glass, I know that I'm on the left. And naturally, if I'm on red and I see the glass, I know I'm on the right. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect, but the map isn't as confusing as it might seem from just a video. Regarding the size of the map, so for example, I hope I make this jump. But again, because of how the map is designed, it's very easy to get around the map. It might not look that way, right? And there will be a lot of jumps and trick jumps that you guys will keep figuring out. I can't tell you all of them because I don't design my maps that way. I don't design maps. I don't plan my game. I don't plan my maps where I know everything. I kind of always leave some room for you guys finding stuff. Sometimes you guys find some really janky stuff, but I don't try to force everything on people. And I think that's one of the problems of modern games. They try to like tell you exactly how to play it. So that's not something you're gonna really get here. So for example, when I designed this map, let's say you spawn on blue, right? Once you get to that center structure, you're pretty much a few seconds away from pretty much every form of combat in the game. So if I spawn here and I manage to make this, which I obviously wouldn't, Right, let's say the middle here. Oh. So for example, let's try that jump one more time. So, all right, recharge. Let's see. Da-da-da. Let's see if I'm looking to see the best way to make the jump. Again, I said I'm sure you guys will figure out your own. I should be able to make that, right? All right. So if I go jump impulse, close enough. Anyways, right? Once you get to this center structure, right, you can cut through the middle here, right? You have full control of red. If you need to view blue, back to blue, right? So you basically can cover the entire red side and the entire blue side just by being on this structure. So it's almost like even if the map seems confusing, everybody's gonna be driven to this center pillar, right? There will be power weapon spawned here, right? And then not only that, if you cover this area, again, this gives you great line of sight on both sides as well. So while the map might seem weird, I think due to the how easy it is to get to this structure and how easy this structure covers the entire map, it won't play out that way in actuality. Let me enable the bots now and see if they'll do anything. Oh wait, it doesn't make any sense because I broke the projectiles are broken. So let's switch to some more behind the scenes stuff. So you guys can see the process of how maps are handled. Right. So usually what happens is I'll get like a rough idea for a map, right? And I'll start just fleshing out that. Sometimes the idea isn't much. I might get an idea to be like, oh, you know what would be cool? And I start thinking up a thing and I start making it. But then maybe the idea wasn't fleshed out enough and you end up with a piece of a map. So this map isn't anything right now, but the idea that I had is supposed to be a bit of a spaceship or spacecraft. So I thought, okay, down here, you would have like the front of the ship. And then as you come around here, you'd be able to look up on these towers. So that up there would be the, what would you call that? The control room or some crap. And you'd be able to, navigate and blah, 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 blah. But again, I didn't get far with the idea, but that's just how it started. Let's show you a map that I'm really excited to get finished. I'm so excited about it. It's a bit big. It's quite massive, but it has a lot of potential in my eyes. It might be a little bit difficult for you guys to see in the stream, so I don't know if I can change the materials a bit. So it looks a little bit it's a bit easier to see. Let's see if I can change the color. Gray, do we have any color? Oh, that works. Right. The buildings in gray so we can see them easier. Can't you guys speak? I don't know if I'm restricting that, but if I am, I'll look into it in the next 9 minutes. Because that's officially when the Q&A section starts. For now, I'm just trying to showcase a few stuff. Let's see. Let's close this. Let that load. Bring it over here. Everything is loading. All right. All right. So basically, the idea that I'm going for this map is I wanted a map that it's basically a vehicle map. So this is not for the hardcore players. Well, I mean, the idea of this map is I wanted a map where most of the vehicles could actually fully be utilized, because I think right now the vehicles are kind of just tossed on the map and we just kind of live with them, but they're not really like designed with the map in mind. So for example, the tank might be okay on one map but sucks on another. The mech might be okay on one map and sucks on another. This map is being designed with, if you're using a tank, you should be able to have good usage of it, good cover enough, or at least enough cover with the tank, so that you can navigate the map without issue and still engage in tank versus tank combat in an interesting way. While at the same time, if someone is using a mech, they still have good cover. They still have they basically whether it's tank versus mech, mech versus mech, tank versus tank, guardian versus tank, it shouldn't matter because every vehicle should be able to be fully utilized. So, for example, even a new idea that I had, was allowing the flying vehicle like the guardian to do stuff that other vehicles can't. This is something that I didn't think about before. So since the Guardian is a flying vehicle, I'm testing this new idea where the Guardian will be able to actually exit the map. It's not fully finished around here, but whatever. The idea will be that the Guardian will be able to like exit the map, right, and maybe utilize like these backspaces and re-enter the map because it's a flying vehicle. So naturally, being a flying vehicle, it shouldn't be restricted to just hovering around the map like a junk bee, right? So I wanted to play with the idea that there are places that flying vehicles can get to that is just basically almost like it's out of bounds. And I took the idea a bit from Battlefield. In Battlefield, when you're in a jet or a helicopter, you are able to go further out of bounds from players. Naturally, though, if you do jump out of your vehicle, so for example, if someone is cheeky and they think they're gonna like take a guardian and come here and jump out of the guardian and then start trying to cover the map, then no, it won't work because what will happen is right. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Panda Rocks. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's probably some interesting. I don't know. Oh, you guys can't see it. That is retarded. Wait, were you guys hearing me? I've been talking to myself. It's ridiculous. It says I'm. What? Why is it not showing my screen? What the heck is this? Oh, it's showing. Oh, wait, 1 second. Oh, it's showing the app, not the screen. Well, that's dumb. Then Lord knows. Oh my God, you guys missed out on all of this crap. Oh boy. Anyways, alright, fine. So this is another map I've been working on. It's a warfare map. So these two maps, the hardcore map that I just showed, Vortex, that one is ready. So you guys should be playing that within the next few days. This map will take some more time, obviously. But this will be for warfare, and this map is again designed to be more of a vehicle-heavy map, but in a way where all the vehicles have use. I'm not gonna go over everything I just said, but I can at least re-show what I was saying before about vehicle exiting the bounds. So for example, one of the things that I wanted to do was, say you're in a Guardian, right? The problem with the Guardian is just it's a big target. So for example, if we were in a Guardian and we were flying right here, there wouldn't really be any cover. We'd just be everybody in the map could shoot us down, which is kind of lame. So one of the things that I'm using to solve that is adding more verticality. But when I say verticality, I don't mean verticality that the players can use, but like vertical cover for stuff like the Guardian, right? For those who don't know it by name, the Guardian is the flying vehicle, the aircraft. Another thing I wanted to do with it is allow the Guardian to do stuff like go out of bounds. So the Guardian, for example, could go out here and come back in this way. And it's the only vehicle that would give you the flexibility of basically flying behind the map and coming back in, which makes sense for an aircraft. The only thing is that obviously I know that some players might try to be cheeky and try to exit the map by flying out of it and getting out of the vehicle. But it won't really work because it will be designed in such a way that you can fly around here, but if you exit the vehicle around here, you're gonna fall to your death. So it's that's not gonna work. Yeah, so I'm not completely sure on the size of this map yet. It might be a bit too big because I'm thinking that the sweet spot for Repuls maps seems to be about what we have for isolation, and maybe grunge. I think those two maps kind of play the best in terms of just like gameplay, in terms raw gameplay. They seem to be the favorites. So I'm kind of trying to remember that. I think a lot of people think Sandlock and Snowfall are a bit too big. So I'm trying to find balance because I do want bigger maps to support the vehicle play, but at the same time we have to think about how that works out for everybody. All right, so let's go a bit through the design process of this map. So when I'm designing the map in this stage, I don't really use any players or vehicles. I kind of do like just scales. So for example, this represents the size of a tank, right? And I'll move this around the map so I can get a feeling for the play space, right? So for example, if I know that this is a tank, that's a massive for a tank, but if I know that this is a tank, I'll be able to come here and I'll say, okay, this section is too small or it's too big or whatever, and I'll be able to adjust accordingly. Maybe our tank is too big, but yeah, right. So the idea here is, for example, you spawn in this location, vehicles will spawn here, and then you have multiple paths. You can take your tank and you can go straight across and engage with any player that chooses to do the same thing from their side, right? Or you can go down here. Now, again, one of the biggest things is to make sure that you don't want you to go into a tank and then you feel like a sitting duck because you can't really use it, right? So when you get to down here, I wanted you to have enough space where you could actually fight another vehicle. Then I also allowed it to be where smaller vehicles like the Jeep would be able to take paths like this to avoid stuff like tanks and that stuff. And even players would be able to take these back roads to like avoid just going out where the vehicles are. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to visualize when the map is in this state, because in this state it's a lot of people can't really read it because it's too janky. But the idea is solid, I think, and if I can manage to make it scale it properly, I think it should be quite solid. I might change a bit of this though because it is feeling like it might be a bit too big. But we'll see how it goes. I might actually like end up seeing it a bit, maybe like reducing it by like maybe I might bring this building in to about here, and making this part a bit shorter. I made the map tighter. I'm not sure yet, so I'll test and I'll see what the best idea is. Right. And then I wanted to test a new idea as well, where you had like this lift. So if you notice, there's this ramp here that goes up, but then it cuts. And you can't really get across. Now, if it's a vehicle-based map, then that doesn't make any sense, right? The tank wouldn't be able to get across. So what I'm going for is that I'm playing with dynamic objects. So what I want to do is I want to do something like this. Let's see, get the right size. Cool. I need to do something like a bridge that extends across and then vehicles can pass. And then naturally what I'm looking for is there will be a switch that controls the bridge. So for example, the bridge might be extended by default, but say for example, there's a switch that someone can hit to deactivate it. So maybe the switch is, I don't know where I'll place it yet, but we'll see. Maybe somewhere obvious. It could probably just be here or here on either side. And so if someone comes up with a tank, they have to get out, activate the bridge, get back in the tank and drive across. And then maybe if they're on the bridge, another teammate can come and deactivate it and get rid of the bridge. And who knows what kind of madness right, like make it shootable. So for example, you could see somebody that's driving across their tank and you just shoot it to deactivate it. Obviously, it would only be shootable with like precision weapons, right? To make sure that people don't spam it. Again, I haven't figured out the best solution yet, but I'll figure out. I'm playing with the idea because again, I'm trying to get into this mindset where try to get in this mindset where I want the maps to be more dynamic. I think one of the problems with a lot of games is the maps are just basic, right? We are in the section for questions and answers. I'm not sure why people can't join the call, but outside of the call, if you guys have questions or concerns, you can share them now. If you feel like there's stuff that I missed, I know I haven't checked in with a lot of stuff with the community so far. So I'm going to start doing that very shortly. As soon as I push this current build, I'll read over and I'll catch up with all the stuff that you guys may have posted in the past few days. And that's all. Right. But again, if you guys have questions, now is the time to add them, and I'll start going over what those are. In the meantime, I'll start kind of sharing, what would I say? Some of the stuff that you can expect in the next coming days. So you guys can see what is coming. Ideally, there was a survival mode. Survival mode was planned to be released for the Halloween period. Didn't get that finished, but I'm really hoping I can still get the mode done so that you guys can. It's basically will be co-op, so people will be able to work together to fight off these waves and waves of enemies. It was supposed to be a Halloween treat, didn't work out. I am actually quite saddened by that, but I guess when Mother Nature says she's ready, we can't do anything about it. Right. So the next thing is I'm planning to add a few more abilities and items. So one upcoming item will be the hologram ability. What that will do is when you activate it, it will push out a clone of your character that runs forward. Naturally, that it really goes away in a very few shots, but it's just to try to probably throw your enemy off guard, right? So that will be coming shortly. Then the next thing will be I'm planning to add a cluster bomb grenade. And how this one works is you'll throw it, and after a few seconds, it explodes and falls and creates this explosion on the ground. So basically, you can, if someone's hiding behind a rock, you throw it above the rock, it explodes, and it does damage on the ground below it. So it basically like explodes a bunch of. Even though now that I say this, I'm wondering if I should just let it explode midair, because maybe that's more how a cluster bomb works. The idea that I had before was that you would throw it and it would just rain explosions down on the ground. But now I'm thinking maybe to like deal with the Guardian and stuff, it would be cool to have something that you could just throw at it and it just explodes midair. So holy crap, that sounds like two things. But anyways, I know I'm gonna do the one where you throw the grenade and you throw the grenade and it basically rains down on whoever you're targeting. Right, so you'll be getting that. The next thing is I'm a bit torn on this because again I have to think about balance, but I want to add hover pack. Hover pack basically how it works when you have basically it's an ability that when you have it, if you jump and you press jump again, you will basically hover mid-air and you can stay there for a few seconds. And yeah, you can use it to cross gaps or use it to, maybe line up a shot mid-air and that stuff. So you'll be able to jump, press it again, hover to take a shot. I thought of doing like a air jump, and I'm not sure I want to do an air jump because I feel like an air jump is just a bit too easy. For example, with an air jump, everybody and their dog will just be able to get up to spaces like this with no effort. Right now, I know we already have the grapple, but the cool thing with the grapple is there is a delay, meaning that when you aim here to pull yourself up, you do put your weapons down, right? And you do pull yourself to the location. My problem with doing something like a my problem with doing something like a air jump is that everybody will be able to get everywhere. So it's almost like I'm removing learning the maps, because what's the point of if you are here, for example, on this map, right? And you see a player down there. What's the point? You know that he'll be able to jump up there, jump up there, jump up there, jump up there, because he might have the double jump, right? And to me, I think it's making the game too easy, because at that point everybody can just jump everywhere, and I think it's a little bit annoying. So I'm not sure I want to do a double jump, but what I was thinking is doing something like hover would still be useful, because you could, for players who are maybe not as skilled with stuff like the impulse, you could still, for example, this jump here. Well, I do think that's an easy jump. I don't think I need to use an ability to make that jump. I think I could really just go and make it. Maybe not. But point is that if I have the hover ability, right, I could, for example, jump and then hover over to this. Jump, hover over to this, right? But the hovering does take some time. It's not instant, right? So you can shoot someone out of the air while they're hovering to a location. So it doesn't murder the skill of the game, because you made this incredibly easy ability to use. Right now, with the while the grapple is easy to use, it does remove your guns. While the impulse can push you anywhere, it requires some skill to use. So I don't really want to have abilities that are brainless, but I think they will ruin pretty much all the map. Think about it. What's the point of going to an interesting place to hold the map if every player, even the player who just started playing today, can just get up there by just pressing the button twice? That's kind of dumb. So I'll be avoiding stuff like that. Oh, so let's look at capture the flag. What the heck is this? It just bugged out? Okay. Or whatever. I have no idea what happened there. Right, fine. So this is capture the flag on Vortex. So again, playing against bots is quite stupid, because you can literally just spawn and run straight for the and you can, well, I should be able to just do that. Anyways. Holy crap. Okay, fine. So it's probably not as easy as I. All right, fine. So as you can see, the flag spawns straight ahead, right? So you can really just spawn. I think the spawns are swapped. So I'll have to fix that, because I noticed I spawned the wrong spot. Spawn closer to the blue flag. But point is that you can get to their flag easily, right? But if you get their flag and you're like traveling this way, most likely players are going to encounter each other based on how the spawns are, because everyone spawned over there. So taking this route, while it's completely easy to do, it will probably give you the most challenge, right? Because your opponents spawn literally right where you need to deliver it. X. So basically, it gives you a little bit of what you have on Outlook, where the flag is very easy to get to, but getting back with the flag is a bit of a challenge, right? Because most people are going to want to grab the flag and just head straight across, right? But it's probably not going to play out that way, because, again, based on how the map is designed, you have to basically go into enemy territory if you want take the shortest route. Obviously. All right, let's see. Right, so if you notice what's happening there, even though the way to the flag is quite obvious, because of the fact of where the enemy spawn, you might not necessarily want to take the shortest route all the time. So say, for example, I have the flag now. Again, the spawns are weird, so if you're seeing if you're being confused with where the spawns, it's because the spawns are flipped. Red team is spawning on the wrong side, but that will all be fixed. So say for example, I have the enemy flag. While this may be the obvious shortest path, it might not be worth taking that, because even though it's clear no, and these are bots, see? Even though it's clear no, I'll have to walk past these guys to get there. So it might make sense for me to go and take the longer route, right? And go around that way. And see, because of how the map is designed, you can always cut off the person before they deliver the flag, right? So even though it seems obvious to just walk straight back, no, it does make sense for you to use the rest of the map just for the convenience of it, and to avoid people. So you may end up taking the longer route if you're playing against proper players. Maybe if you're playing against a bunch of noobs, you can just back and forth. But for the most part, it will take some effort to actually secure the flag after capturing it. Playing is too short now. Gives you a short, even shorter time to react and jump compared to V1. Oh, what's he talking about? Red game. I'm not sure what's happening there. Right, so I'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. But another question. Oh, someone was asking if this is beta and when is it coming. I'll say that by Monday the latest, this build will be live, and you'll be able to play this map. And I'm not sure which ability will be in, but I know that you will have at least one of the abilities that I mentioned before. Also plan to add a few new items. One of the items I want to add is a beacon. And how the beacon works is when you drop it, again, maybe a lot of people won't use it, but I'm trying to give people variety. How the beacon will work is you place it on the map, and anybody that goes near it gets marked on your screen, and they get marked for your teammates. So for example, if I was supposed to place a beacon, say, there, right? Anywhere I am on the map, if somebody walks past that section, they'll have a marker over them, and I'll be able to know where they are for a few seconds. And so will my teammates. So that's one item I want to add. Again, it's more of a utility thing, but I'm trying to give people more variety. And then the final thing in terms of item that I'm thinking of is what was the next item? Oh, I wasn't sure if this was an item or a skill, but it feels a bit OP, so I'm not sure. I was thinking of doing a radar, and how the radar works is if you use the radar skill perk, sorry, what that does is give you a radar on screen, which basically shows you the enemies that are around you. So I guess for those people who want to have a better track on where enemies are, people sneaking up on you and that stuff. But it would be quite short range, but it's just to give the flexibility for those people who want it. Another question that I have is what happened to R2, Repuls 2, version 2. Well, it's interesting because R2 always referred to the PC version of Repuls. And honestly, I don't have the resources to make that right now. I would love to make it, but in order to make a PC game that looks the way that I want it to look, I don't have the resources to properly execute on that right now. So basically, that's what's happening with that. And this, yes, I seem to be having some bugs, so I have some crap to fix. But whatever. This is why I can't push this yet. I have to fix some issues. Will community skins and capes expand? Example, both sniper is the most popular weapon right now, but we can't really make skins for it. Okay, making skins I think I already answered, but I'm gonna go over it again. Regarding making skins, we do have to write up the privacy policy for that. It really is a legal reason as to why I've kind of paused accepting community skins, because again, we do have to make sure that people know that when they add the skin to the game, that's a permanent decision and it belongs to Repuls. No. But why? It can create legal issues where if in the future somebody decides that they don't want their skin in the game anymore, we have to take it out. And then now we have all these players that have the skin, and we're in a problem. We also have to deal with the fact that copyright material is weird. So, for example, if someone is supposed to make a skin and they use a texture or material or something that they got, say for example, off the internet, and they didn't really own the rights to it. If we add that to the game, then if there becomes a copyright issue, we are actually the one who might get into trouble. So it's a little problematic with exactly. So if AI is getting copyrighted now too, so basically that means, say somebody generates a skin for the game and it's cool and we add it to the game, right? What happens if it gets flagged as a copyright breach? Right? At least when we make the skins, then I can do all my stuff to make sure that I'm sure where I got stuff from. I'm not sure how games like Roblox and Fortnite and that stuff handle it, but that's why I don't do it yet, because I haven't figured it out yet. Right? Let's see. Oh, something that would be cool to show you guys. Let's see. See if I can into a different account. One sec. And then let's see. Let's pause this game. But free the bots. Freeze the time. You're right. Another question is, do you think having more skins as perks would be possible, such as server boosters, having a limited skin, and so on? We can discuss it. It makes a lot of sense. We can definitely discuss it to figure out what's the best way to do it. That makes a lot of sense, and I'll look into that. Another question is, what is the progress of Repuls? Oh, I think I got this question. Right, I can't give you a percentage on it. Honestly, the game will go to Android, the game will go to PC. Google Play Store is now doing a thing where you can play the game on PC by downloading it off the Play Store. So we're really hoping to take advantage of that. Because trust me, for anybody that has tried the mobile version, it's significantly smoother than the web version if you have a decent phone. It's just because when you have to run the game on the browser consumes so many resources that the game isn't left with much. But running it on the phone, it's significantly smoother, right? One thing I want to show, let's see if I can. A big thing that I'm working on is a social space. Let's see. A big thing that I'm working on is a social space. Going on. Actually, does this work anymore? Okay, fine. Yeah, a big thing I'm working on is a social space. In the social space, you'll play the game. Everyone spawns from third person, so you won't be in the first person mode. And you'll be able to basically walk around this space where you can interact with other people, right? Currently, it's in the planning stages. Unfortunately, I'll probably have to take some screenshots to show you, some pictures to show you, because I don't have digital versions of the plans for the map. But the social space will basically be an open space where everyone spawns in third person, so you'll be able to see your character and all of that stuff, right? The caves look really cool in third person, by the way. They actually look a lot cooler. The third person mode isn't finished, so it does have some janky stuff, but stuff like you'll be able to see your character from the third person view. Yeah, this is what happens when you free the bots while they're shooting. They just shoot forever. Yeah. Anyways, Right. So what's happening is in the social space, everyone walks around from third person. They won't have their guns up, so your gun will probably be on your back if you're not wearing a cape or something like that. We'll see. And you can walk around the space and interact with other players, see your character and that stuff. And you'll basically have a few mini games in this social space. You can access stuff like the shop. So, for example, one of the reasons for the shop, right? So, for example, let's see. Let's see if I can show this. Oh, no, it's not really allowing me to open it here. But let's see if I can find the tabs. 1 second, let's see. Tab search. Oh, this is a different thing. See. Be able to click on this thing. Let's see. 1 second. Oh, no, not allowing me to do that, but fine. Point is, all right, fine. So it's not set up for me to show you guys what I was trying to show you here. It's not built, whatever. The point is that when you're in the social space, you'll be able to do stuff like open the shop by going up to an NPC. That will be a character in his own customization and stuff. And you can talk, you basically go to him, boom, and you open the shop. You'll be able to go to different spaces. Right now, I think the spaces that we have planned is that we have an armory where you'll be able to go and see the different vehicles and drive them around this playground type thing where you can just mess around with them. Again, this isn't a space for shooting each other, it's just a hangout spot. Then you will have, what am I calling it? Firing range of sorts where you can go to and there'll be like different targets that you can shoot and basically compete for a high score to see which of you guys can hit the most targets the fastest. And you will also be able to directly go to places where you can teleport into a match and then return to the social space when it's finished. And just chat to people and hang out. So the social space is really just a big hangout spot where you can just mess around. Because what I'm noticing is that while Repuls is cool and all, sometimes you're not in the mood for the constant shooting and you just want to take a break. And what people do when they're tired of the constant fighting, that they just leave the game, right? So the social space allows you to still hang out in Repuls, chat to friends and that stuff, but not give yourself carpal tunnel in the process. So I think it will be a cool addition. So that is something that I'm working on and I'm really excited for, because even me, sometimes I just want to hang out in the game without worrying about dying and that stuff. So that's what's happening. I can't put a percentage on how finished the game is. There's just way too many stuff that I want to add. Campaign mode, co-op mode, survival mode. I know campaign mode sounds like a bit of a stretch for a web game, but it's also, what I'm doing is laying the foundation now. In order for me to do like a story mode where you're fighting against other enemies, I needed to add bots. So this is why bots needed to be added to the game, so that we can use them for enemies in a story mode, and so that we can use them for enemies in a survival mode or a co-op mode, right? So I'm just laying the foundation. But I do want to add, even if I can't do like a full story mode, I at least want to do like a prologue where I can introduce you guys to the Repuls universe, so you can see that, hey, we're fighting for a reason, these knights serve purposes, blah 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 blah. And I want to basically tie up the game a bit more into the story. What that means is, tying the game into the story means, currently there are multiple factions in Repuls and it's not shown in the game, and it saddens me a lot, because we have the United Earth Alliance, right? That's the UEA. Basically, the UEA is all the Earth agencies working together, right? In the Repuls universe. Then we have like I'm not sure what they're thingy, but I know we have the people that live at the Mars, the colonizers of Mars. I'm not sure what their tag is right now. I don't remember. I have to look it up. So we have the Mars. We have the scavengers. Scavengers are basically people living on Earth that they aren't really. They're basically in survival mode. They're basically trying to survive a planet that's struggling, right? So they're basically view them like Mad Max in a sense. They're like junkers. They find stuff. They take parts from a bunch of different stuff and mash it together. So, for example, in this, what I'm trying to do going forward is trying to make sure all the maps and the weapons and the helmets and that stuff are themed. So, for themed meaning, you will be able to know when this is a Martian weapon, a UEA weapon, or a scav weapon, because scav weapons will look different. They'll look more cobbled together and usually be a bit more janky, right? So, like, I won't specify what they are right now, but I will. I'm taking them into account, and then we have the the, the colonies, and the colonies are basically people living in space in these colonies, and they don't really affiliate themselves with any faction, but they are responsible for making most of the weapons and tech and that stuff. So, right, and then there is two more factions that are. One of them I can't tell you guys about, and the other one is you'll find out soon. So, I'm not gonna explain all of them, but we have about 6 factions in the game. Now, in terms of the warring factions, we have the UEA, Mars, and we have the scavs and the. Well, I can't tell you one of those, but those will be mostly for the PvE mode, where they're only enemies. So when I announced them, they were supposed to be announced for Halloween, and it didn't work out. So I'm sorry, but they'll be announced soon. What I want to do is that eventually what I want to do with the game is that you can set your allegiance to a faction. So you can choose whether you are on the Earth Alliance, the Martian forces, or are you a scav. Why this will matter is you will have your own scoreboard where you'll be able to see which faction is winning the war, which is decided by the amount of kills and missions that you guys are doing. So, for example, if you are a part of the Martian faction, you will have special Martian objectives that you have to accomplish. And based on the amount of, you will see like a map that shows who is winning the war based on the faction that people selected. Right. And naturally, what I want to do now, like you will get certain weapons based on factions, right? But again, I'm still planning a lot of this stuff, but I really want to start adding it soon. The reason why it sounds like taking it to the next level is because the game was never intended to be just a web game. So for it to really step into what the game is supposed to be, it can't be what it currently is, right? Because what it currently is just a game you jump in, you shoot some people, and you log off. That's basically it. I mean, sure, you can unlock some stuff, but there's no depth, right? And there's more to the world than that. So we're trying to add it back. Right, so that's the idea behind it. So if you're a scav, if a scav is your favorite faction, then what you'll find is you might get certain bonuses for playing as a scav. So, for example, you might level up certain things faster. You may unlock certain things faster. Certain missions might give you. So it really depends. And in the social spaces, for example, you'll see the factions having their different sections. So, for example, the UEA might be on this side or whatever. So it's still a work in progress, but it needs to be done to step into the next phase of the game. When do you think Repuls will start to move away from web game to just cool game? All right. When do I think we'll move away from that? I think it should begin with the Android version. Once we get the Android version out, and no, mind you, look, I know we're not all excited for mobile. Not everyone wants to play a mobile game, but please remember that Google Play has a new system. I think they're trying to compete with Steam. And what that means is that you guys will be able to download the Google Play version on your desktop and still play it with PC controls. So even though you're asking for Steam, it will basically be the exact same effect. Not to say it won't go on Steam at some point, but I'm just saying that when I say mobile version no longer just refers to the handheld, like playing on your mobile phone, because Google Play has made it so that we can now play mobile games on your PC with full desktop controls and running as if it was running on your controls. All right, at what you're saying, the PC control system works well. I use it, but the games imported from there are pretty heavy. So are you saying you use the Google Play PC game thing and the games are running slowly? Oh, you mean file size? Oh, file size. Well, look at it this way. Repuls will forever be a tiny game. So that's the cool thing about being a web game. I am extremely conscious of that. Oh, so you're saying the game size gets bigger. I think the reason why the game size gets bigger maybe because the developers are just not caring anymore because it's a PC game, so they're just like full resolution textures and everything. No, I don't think Repulse is gonna be that big. Funnily enough, I do think Repulse, as in its current size, might be almost 1 gigabyte if you were supposed to download everything at once. But because it only loads the game in pieces, it's not that big. But ultimately, though, the web version, it will still be a light game because again, it will never. I don't think it's gonna be anywhere near 2 gigs, but it might be about a gig. I'll be honest, but it won't be a gig in one download. You'll still download maybe about 100 megabytes, and then you'll download the rest of the game from my servers. At some point, would the mobile and web version be different? Um, I don't know. It really depends. It really depends. It really depends. I will say mobile can handle a lot more than web. A lot more. Like, trust me, it's very easy to make this game look really, really, really good. But again, I can't do that um, for web. Because again, a lot of why the game looks the way it looks now is because it's a web game and I have to use cheaper ways of doing everything. No, that does give us a unique art style, but it also limits us a lot. But it's also what makes our game run better. Is your name Pingu? Mobile version is hard to play. I'm sure you're referring to the current mobile version that you have to play with the touch screen. Not everyone is gonna want to play the game on a touch screen, but I don't know if you were here earlier. What I'm saying is that going forward, if you're able to play Repulse using your PC with the desktop version, going forward, there will be a point where you'll be able to download the mobile version on your PC and play it using your PC control. So it basically will be a better version of the browser game. It will run a lot better, it'll be a lot smoother and whatever. Now, will I separate it at some point where the PC and the mobile are separate and don't talk to each other? I can't say, I wouldn't say no. I'm not doing that. I don't know. If mobile gets big enough where it has its own audience, I might separate it. But I'm not sure, right? I definitely know that there might be a if I'm detecting PC players, there might be a way I might have to separate mobile from PC because PC controls are just so much better that mobile players would get stumped. But um, I'm off the top of my head. No, I don't have any direct plans to separate it immediately. So you said I should catch up with questions above. I am looking for questions. So if I missed anything, what's this? It says achievements. The quest system, but a cool idea would be achievement. Like other games, actually, it would be cool, like a quest that never rotates and is always there for you to complete. Some ideas would be getting 5,000, heal 100,000. Achievements sound cool. I'm never really thought about doing that. Achievements usually don't. I'll have to look into it, but it definitely makes sense to do achievements. That definitely makes sense. Because I mean, especially with how Repulse works, we can probably get a lot of cool achievements out of it. And maybe there's some incentive or thing that happens when you get all the achievements complete. I don't know if you should get reward for completing achievements. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely I did liking the idea. Are you doing the ping fix on Monday as well? If may I get this build out? Yes, it should. You should be able to. It's the same build, and also maybe a better thumbnail on Poki and boost it. Pay for it to appear. Can't pay to. What do you mean? Too many people are on Poki. What do you mean boost it? Not sure what you mean. Oh yeah, badges sound cool. You mean from the beginning of the list on Poki? Oh no, you don't have any control over that. You can't pay. You can't pay to rank the game on Poki. They have their own algorithm that does its thing. The only thing I would say is maybe if I can incentivize people to upvote the game, then it might rank better on Poki. So maybe I can like put prompts in the Poki version to like vote up the game, and that would get us more publicity, more views. Um, so that's probably a good idea. But yeah, I can adjust the thumbnail. A new thumbnail would definitely probably help. Yeah, ideally I do want to change the thumbnail of the game frequently enough, but we're working on it. Let's see, did I miss any questions? Let me know if I missed anything. Um, the game is really missing players. What do you mean? Missing players. I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's interesting because it really comes down to regarding empty lobbies. It's really time of day sometimes because you have EU players and then you have European. You have the western side of the world and you have the eastern side, and depending on the time of day and when you're coming online, you might be coming in a window with your less players. What I've noticed is um, the game usually peaks on weekends. It peaks like 508, sometimes like 500 plus users. So we don't really have player problem. We have a lot of players actually. I'm not sure why sometimes it might feel empty, but we do have a lot of players. For example, there are 400 people online right now. So that's a lot of people, right? Sure, it might not be the biggest web game, but I don't think Repuls will ever be the biggest web game because it's not one of those aim down sites, Call of Duty clones where you just kill somebody in 2 bullets. And basically, what I'm seeing is we're not really gonna get the mainstream people because what mainstream people usually want, as much as people say they want different games, what I've found is that people kind of almost like they want every game that they play to play like their favorite game. So they'll come into repos and they'll immediately go, "Oh, people take too long to die. The time to kill is too high." And then it's like, okay, but if you make the time to kill lower, and then they're like, "Oh well, when you aim down sights, the guns should get accurate." It's like, okay, fine, but then what if I did that? What if I reduced the time to kill, and I made the gun get more accurate when you aim down sights? Then we basically have Call of Duty, a sci-fi Call of Duty, right? So that's the thing. Because a lot of people are used to the run around, aim, shoot, run, aim, shoot. Repos kind of feels different for a lot of people because most people don't grow up on a game like this. That's it. Well, when you're new to this game, Repos is really slow. I think when most people are new, they just come in and they're like walking around the map and they're like, "Oh, okay," and they think it's too slow. And then you turn into hardcore player, then you see, uh, You see the madness that you guys do. Doc, people say less players play the game. That's what he means. Are you saying that there are less players playing the game? No. Actually, no. We have more players now. There was a point 2 years ago where I think the player count was higher, but that's not a Repuls thing. Every web game was higher because Krunker was hot, Venge was hot, Agar.io. We had all of these crazy web games like Zams, Royale, and that stuff. So, what I would say is that web games were trending, and what you notice that most web games died since that period of time. A lot of them died. So the fact that Repuls is still alive with and still like one of the top 10 web games shows that we're still doing really, really well. Right? So what the lower players that you're seeing is not just the game, it's also the market. Web games just are not it's just not trending as it was back then. Oh, that was so clean. Oh my god, the gravity lift is so clean now. So this is no big deal. I know this is like no big deal, it's just a graphic. Because I'm trying to do it again. Like, I have to fix this, obviously. It's not supposed to give you any issues. Oh, so I guess I need to fix it. But the point is that it's so smooth, yo. It's crazy how smooth it is. I remember no one wanted to go in the lift because it was so janky. I think I need to adjust the collider. I don't know. Like sometimes it pushes you to the front, and then another time it does it properly. So I need to look into why it's doing that. But it's an easy fix, so it's not a big deal. Right, let's see if I miss anything. Miss question. More would help a lot. Let's see. Doc, people say let's play da 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 da. I end up having to refresh a lot. Are you referring to like because the game bugs out? And also clans, I reconnect, so maybe I missed it, like a lot of things on the list. The thing is, this is how I typically work. Usually I move through my list and I don't tend to add like some systems are some systems are so complex I can't really add a piece of them. So for example, the reason why I haven't touched clans yet is because I know when I get to clans I'm probably just gonna just like take all the feedback and just make one proper system instead of just like putting together a bunch of simple stuff. Because what I've learned before, PFM responding to the clan rework. What I've learned before, and this is actually a problem that I run into, if I add a few features, then when you guys are requesting new features, sometimes the new features create a problem because it's almost like the foundation wasn't designed thinking about all the new features that you guys want. And that's what I'm running in now. So, for example, the current clan system cannot do all the stuff that you guys want it to do. So, one of the things that I've been doing is actually waiting for you guys to fully build out the clan, what you guys want in the clan system, and then I'll go in and I'll just merge that with my ideas, and then I'll just build one big system that should make everybody happy. So, I am getting to that point. Once I get the mobile version out, I'll be diving into stuff like that because trust me, I know clans are essential, especially because I'm gonna do stuff like the factions with like scavs and UEA and Martians. I think some people would like building their clan, and their clan is a scav's clan, for example, for whatever reason. Everybody decks out in their scav armor. Anyways, let's see what else I'm missing. Overwatch, time to kill feels very fast. It's very different, but in a good way. Da 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 da. Kept making good idea. Da da da. Chat for guess. Anyway, then with more actions. Yeah. Okay. So chat for guess a bit weird. I mean, maybe it's okay. No. The problem the problem with limiting chat for guests is when someone comes online and they're being ridiculous, there's not much you can do about it. Or are you gonna ban a guest, right? So the only way that's why guests can't talk, because you can't moderate guests. Let's see. I'm seeing something here about move the floor closer. I'm not sure what I start talking about. Anyways, clan, sorry if I'm getting annoying, but they need attention. What I do. Yeah, alright, fine. So if we feel like what we have for the clans now already, then I said I'll get to it. So The clan system. All right. So someone's here. Are there any plans for in-game tournament? Maybe something where you can join a scheduled tournament lobby, play a few matches, and then the winner gets RC. Definitely. Um, it's up, but it's also another system that I think, or maybe I'm overthinking it. But I was thinking that it's a system that needs to work with clans, because I'm thinking that most people, I guess maybe you'd have to have two types of tournaments. You probably have to have solo tournaments and clan tournaments, right? So for solo tournaments, maybe I could implement that one quite easily, actually. Well, not easy. Nothing is ever freaking easy in this game, but I could implement solo tournaments. Let's see if I can write this down somewhere. Um, so solo tournaments. I do. Yeah, I was planning something like that. Where no, that definitely makes sense. Uh, One of the things I was trying to cover was make sure that all right. So I need to add more. So I need to add the skins because a lot of people have got a lot of people have gotten an RC and they don't really have much to do with it. So I need to add the skins as well. But I guess that will happen with time. But yeah, the solo tournament and clan tournaments. But I guess maybe I can do the solo one first until the clan system is ready. So solo tournaments. You mentioned a while ago that you had another developer working with you. Not really. It's not. It didn't really work out. It's one of those things where I intended for them to work on another game, and the idea was that as they got better at it, I'd eventually bring them over to Repuls. But based on what I'm seeing right now, we're in a very complex phase of Repuls with the netcode and the clan system and that stuff. And these parts of the game that are so sensitive that I can't really have someone else touch them. At least I don't have someone else that I think would be able to understand them. So I have to flesh that part out. I think maybe once I get all of those core systems working, I can bring somebody on to help with just general management. But as it stands right now, no, I'm not. I'm not really working with anybody right now because I find myself spending a lot of time telling them how to build something or how to work on something, and sometimes it's faster for me to do it myself, right? um so no, I'm not really working with a developer right now. Can you fix the friend request chat system, like add friends after match? Works half the time. I look into that. Friend request. More information on that would be nice. I hope you have created a bug report. If not, create a bug report on the friend request. In it, tell me what happens when it doesn't work. Maybe you add them, but they don't get the request. So friend request bug. Cause I can't really. I'll write it down, but if I don't know exactly what it's doing for you, I can't exactly fix it. Maybe custom elements because RC aren't not that great. Their plans for wait, I'm not seeing what up. Yeah, let's see. For the first name, DM's not working. Should not working. The online friends not working. Should be fixed. All right, fine. So we see clan chat. Um, Clan chat, online friends. Yeah, I know. Especially online friends, that is a big deal. And knowing when your friend is online, so knowing your friend status is a huge deal. That needs to be fixed. All right, fine. So I'm not seeing much more questions come in. So I'm gonna wrap up shortly. Maybe in the next 9 minutes, I'll be closing out. Uh, if I missed anything, just let me know. But to wrap up, basically, this what I'm working on now is I'm finishing up this map for hardcore, right? As well as fixing one of the more annoying bugs that I've seen, which is the rocket launcher doing doing a ridiculous thing where it actually, yeah. So as you see, the third person mode isn't ready because I just took up the rocket launcher and you can't see it. But as you can see that the rocket is basically exploding before it hits the wall, right? Which is something that needs to be fixed. So it's quite janky. So you notice it exploded here. So I'm working on stuff like that, right? So that this map will be ready. Hopefully, I can get to launch it Monday. I'm not gonna tackle too many things before Monday because I don't want to introduce new bugs. Right. Because Monday I want to release this for both web and Android, so we can move on to try to continue trying to get the game on Play Store. Because again, as said, getting the game on Play Store is not just about getting the game on mobile. It's a way of getting the game on PC as well. Because Google Play now has a Play Store for PC. So it's like maybe it's weird for me to say I'm getting the game ready for mobile since it's not just mobile anymore. It's also now for PC. Right. So new map coming, and I do have a few new skin ability items and abilities that I am working on. I do have quite a lot of maps in concept that I didn't get to show you guys because I have them drawn in like this sketchpad, and I don't have a way of sharing that right now. So maybe I'll like take some pictures or some crap, and we'll see how that manifests. But sometimes I don't really like showing early ideas because then if it doesn't make it in the game, you guys are like, "Oh, dude, Doc, what's going on here?" Not adding stuff. So in terms of new abilities, I'm thinking of the hologram, where you can make a duplicate of yourself to try to throw people off. The cluster bomb, where you can throw this item that basically explodes midair and rains tiny explosions on the ground below it. So those will be added soon. Then I have the beacon item, where you'll be able to drop it on the ground and it highlights anybody that comes close. Oh, one last thing that I want to add is emotes. I don't know when you guys will be getting it, but emotes will be coming relatively soon, where just to enhance the social experience, where you can do little emotes, whatever you want them to be. Some of them might be dancing. No worries, it's not Fortnite style dancing. I'm trying to keep my emotes and stuff a little bit. I wouldn't say serious because Repuls isn't like some. It's not taking itself too seriously, but it won't be some wacky, ridiculous cartoon stuff, right? So you'll have some cool emotes just to use when you're playing, whether you want to use them after winning a match or maybe you get a kill on somebody and you want to play an emote. So there's a bunch of little stuff, but again, I said I do have a few things I need to fix, and once I get those done, I'll be combing through the community to catch up with what all the stuff that I've been missing out on. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna be opting out. I think I answered pretty much everything that I saw. If there's anything else, you can always at me in whatever channel that makes sense for it, and I'll get to it eventually. But to close out though, yes, clans is a big deal for me, and yes, the tournaments are a big deal for me because I really do believe those are a very cool way of experiencing the game. If you can like enter a tournament and just fight alongside players and until we have a victor, and the same with clans. Anyways, that's it. I think I've showed what I wanted to show. Let's see. Right. So I'm gonna close out now, guys. So I'm sorry the YouTube stream didn't work out because I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll have to look into it to figure out what went wrong and how I can resolve that issue so that we can do YouTube later on, because not a lot of people have access to Discord. So I'll have to look into that. But either way, guys, I want to thank you for your time. We only have a few people here right now, but that's fine. It's expected. I'll definitely look into how we can get the YouTube stream working better next time, or maybe I'll have to do Twitch. I don't know which one is better, but I'll definitely look into it. But I'll be closing out now, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to be here, and thanks for supporting the game. Yeah, that's it.